Hey, I'm Paul Giannotti from ROI Obsession. In this video, I'm going to open the kimono on some of our very best strategies that we're using to help property developers, home builders, and new home sales agents sell out their projects faster than ever using modern digital ads. This will be a case study video where we dive into exactly how we've helped just one of our clients sell more than $80 million in new homes, and we've done it using only digital ads. So what if I told you we've helped this client sell more than 95 properties now, and it's had absolutely nothing to do with property portal listings, channel partners or referral groups, or having their team sit around all day and post on social media? I'm not going to be holding anything back, including our proven digital ad funnel that we're using to convert leads, enrich them with really valuable data points, and then position the whole inquiry process in the right way so prospects are actually eager to chat with sales. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Here's some actual proof this strategy works like crazy. What you're seeing here is the real inquiry spreadsheet for this particular client over a 12-month period, minus, of course, the personal information so no one can go and call these leads. But just look at the consistency and volume of leads coming in. We're seeing qualified leads hit inboxes day after day, week after week, and month after month using the exact strategies I'm about to walk you through. Now, for this particular client, we've delivered nearly 10,000 sales inquiries. Importantly, their sales team are hitting an average inquiry to sale conversion rate of 1%. So that means that for every 100 leads we deliver using this process, they make one property sale. And that's a metric that holds firm across most of our clients, with actually some of the top performers hitting around that 1.3% inquiry to sale conversion rate. For this campaign, we've now helped them sell 95 properties at an average sales value of $850K. That's over $80 million in new home sales and counting. And when I assess the return on marketing spend for this client, they're sitting at over 1,300%. That means that for every dollar they put into marketing, they're getting $13 back. Now, I don't know about you, but there's not that many areas of my business where I can put in $1 and get $13 back. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of what we're doing to get these results, I first want to touch on some of the common new home marketing approaches that we're seeing traditionally being used in the market, which could in fact be hamstringing your project sales. The first is running solely on property portals. Often I speak to developers and they've pushed their entire digital marketing budgets into the property portals. They'll book a postcode or a zip code or two for their project, and that's their marketing spend done. Now, the issue isn't per se the quality of the leads, it's just that you've given up control over your entire lead gen process. With this approach, there's nothing you can do about improving the quality or increasing the volume of inquiries if you want to sell out that project faster. It's not a great situation to be in. The next is running what I like to think of as tire kicker Facebook ads. So if you've tried Facebook before for your project, but you were disappointed with the quality, it's highly likely you've ran this type of ad. Here's why. This type of ad is called a lead form ad, and it features a form on Facebook that's native to the app, which keeps users on their platform after they've submitted a lead. And guess what? Facebook are heavily pushing these because they keep users on their network so they can, you guessed it, maximize their ad dollars. Typical Facebook kind of behavior, right? So here's how the ad works. Users will scroll through their feed, they see an ad they like, they tap one button and a form pops up inside their mobile app with their name, email and phone number already pre-filled. All the user then does is tap submit and they're done. So it sounds like a recipe to generate a high volume of leads, right? Well, it can do that, and that's why agencies love them, since they're easy to set up, they take no development resources and they get fast results. The quality of the leads, however, are, and I'm going to use a scientific term here, garbage. Several of my clients' sales managers have reported calling leads from lead forms even an hour or two after they've been generated, and the lead will actually argue with them that they made an inquiry at all. Here's the thing, with lead gen, and this is a little counterintuitive, you're not going to hear many people talking about this, but it is a fact, you actually need to make leads work for it. You have to take people off the ad networks and onto a funnel or an experience that you control, push them through a series of content, usually on their mobile phone, and then make them fill out that form on their phone using their thumbs, which is frankly a giant pain in the ass. Ask yourself this, would you rather send your sales team a lead that's tapped literally 2 buttons, or a lead that's gone to another website, scrolled through a series of content, typed out all their personal information, and then indicated a budget range they're shopping for? I know which one I'd pick. Number 3 is relying too heavily on channel partners for referrals. Now, obviously, these can be a really great source of leads, especially from professional networks and overseas buyers groups. The issue, again, though, is that they're completely outside of your control. They're unpredictable, they're unscalable, and there's nothing you can do to ramp up the volume of leads when you need them. If I had to sum up the single biggest challenge with marketing new homes, it's this. It's that the property buying journey just takes so damn long. Now, wouldn't it be easy if selling new homes was like marketing, say, an emergency locksmith? All you'd need to do is literally be on Google for the time it takes someone to whip out their phone and type in emergency locksmith in Google. Unfortunately, the home buying journey just isn't so straightforward. It can take 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, or even more. Prospects will start off by dreaming about buying a new home, then they'll move into the consideration phase where they start planning the purchase, and at some point they'll begin actively searching. That's where they'll start looking at properties, maybe they'll make some inquiries, speak to agents, attend open for inspections and so on. That's the active search phase. The challenge is that this isn't a linear process, and more often than not, they're not in the active search phase for their whole buying journey. Here's another way to look at it. A prospect starts off in the dreaming phase, then they move up to the consideration phase, and the tip of the spear is the active search phase where they're looking at property portal listings, they're Googling buying terms, they're inquiring and potentially purchasing. Here's the issue though. They don't spend every single day over 12 months or more looking through listings, right? There's a long period of time where they're going to drop in and out of this active search phase. So if they're not doing this every single day, what are they doing? Well, they're on Facebook scrolling their news feed. They're looking at their feeds on Instagram, they're catching up on the news, they're reading their emails, and they're watching YouTube. They do these things every single day, which means provided we know how to tag people who have already been in the active search phase, we can use these digital ad platforms to get to people who are in the consideration phase. This, in fact, is one of our biggest secret weapons. Instead of being in a red ocean where you're solely targeting people who are active on the property portals in that moment, along with all the other competitors out there, you can target prospects who are in the consideration phase and have a blue ocean of leads that have shown intent for property but are still shopping. This is a recipe for a high volume of leads that your competitors probably don't even know exist. So let's take a look at exactly how we do it. Now we're going to dive into the real nuts and bolts of how our digital ads and conversion funnel strategies actually work. You're going to want to pay real close attention to this section as I'm going to walk you through exactly how we use these digital ads to pull local property buyers off the ad networks and into our conversion funnel, which is where we can isolate the prospect's attention, pre-sell the development, convert visitors into inquiries, enrich the inquiry with really valuable data points, and finally position the whole process in the correct way so that the prospect is actually looking forward to speaking to your sales team. Now, it all starts with running these digital ads. So why is it that we run on these particular digital ad networks? From Google, we've got Google Search, Demand Gen, and YouTube. And from Meta, we've got Instagram and Facebook. If you look at these particular platforms, they represent a reach into the market of around 90% of the population. So that means no matter whether you're going after first home buyers, upgraders, downsizers, or investors, we can do that using these digital ads. Now, just an important note on targeting. A lot of people that are outside of the digital ad industry itself just aren't aware of the enormous resources these ad networks have put into the development of their targeting AI. This has been going on long before the invention of ChatGPT. They've spent tens of billions on really sophisticated machine learning algorithms that are there for one thing, to optimize how they deliver their ads. And they're getting so good at what they do that the AI is frankly blowing any type of manual targeting out of the water. And that's provided you can do one thing, which is set up what I call an effective feedback loop. And I'm going to show you exactly how that works with our conversion funnel now. The first step is running ads on these networks. Now, one of the make or break factors is to send tracking data from these ads into the funnel. So here we capture the source of the campaign, the medium, the campaign name, the term, the keyword that was searched if we're running on search, right down to a unique click ID. From Facebook, that's an FB CLID, and from Google, that's a G CLID. So those are unique IDs coming from the ad networks from a particular click on an ad that's linked to the user on that network. Really important data to track. At this point, when we send users to the funnel, we'll check whether they're using a mobile phone. If they are, they go to a specifically designed mobile site. This looks and feels like a premium mobile app, and it converts really, really well. You have to remember that when you're running digital ads, most of the traffic, sometimes over 90%, is going to be using a mobile phone. So that's something we all need to be aware of. The purpose of the landing page in the conversion funnel is to pre-sell the development, get prospects excited about inquiring, and then make a conversion offer. That's why we always use a direct response style approach, optimizing for a singular call to action. Now, the call to action we favor after a lot of testing is a request info pack CTA. Here, we'll roll up all the valuable information about the project. So that's the floor plans, the brochures, the pricing options, and we'll put it together in a valuable info pack. And we offer that in exchange for the contact details of the user. You can think of it as an ethical bribe. You're giving them highly valuable information about the project, and they're giving you the ability to start a marketing relationship with them. Typically here, we'll capture first name, sometimes also surname, email, phone, and a budget range. And on this form, we'll have hidden fields which pull in the information that's being sent from the ad networks so that we can correctly assign the source, medium, campaign, term, and so on to the particular lead that's now in our client's CRM. At this point here, we trigger conversion codes back to the ad networks. Key takeaway here, it's important to trigger conversion events as often as possible. Basically, the methodology is to send as much conversion data back to the ad networks so they know which clicks on their ads actually converted into high-value actions. The more data they have, the better their algorithms can understand which of their users are actually converting. Ultimately, this helps them learn who else on their network is likely going to be interested in your project and better target them. At this point, we redirect users to what's called our lead enrichment questionnaire. Here's where we'll capture whether they're first home buyers, upsizers, downsizers, or investors, the size of the property that they're after, any key features that they'd like, their timeline to purchase, whether they need help with financing. And by the way, this can be a great lead gen opportunity for brokers if you have them in-house or even as partners, and whether they want to book in a display suite visit. Even though this process is optional for the user, we find around 80 to 85% of inquiries give us these valuable data points. Now, again, we'll trigger another conversion code back to the ad networks. This is a questionnaire complete conversion. At this point in the funnel, they've gone through a number of steps and they're a more qualified lead. So we want to trigger that back to the ad networks. The idea is that the more conversion data you send back to the ad networks, the richer the picture they have of their users who may also take that action, which is to complete the questionnaire. You have to remember, these ad networks have tens of thousands of data points on each of their users, from the content that you interact with, the videos you watch, the friends you have, what you purchase, and so on. So it's really about sending as much conversion data back to their algorithms so they can better optimize the delivery of their ads and find more people on their network who are likely to take that action. Okay, now we've got all this valuable data, so we'll ingest the information into the CRMs. And finally, for the user, we'll redirect them to our next steps page. So you can think of this page as an upgraded thank you page. The typical thank you page is honestly one of the most underrated pieces of digital real estate in existence. Mostly, it's a wasted opportunity. What you should instead be doing here is setting the expectations for what's to come. So in our next steps page, we'll say, all right, you've done step 1, you've sent us your inquiry. Step 2 is still pending. So please stay by the phone because one of our friendly team will be in touch to have a quick chat about your needs so we can present the right options for you. And that just positions the whole process in the right way. At this point then, we'll notify the sales team instantly over email, and this can be CC'd or BCC'd to anyone. And finally, we'll add all of these inquiries into the inquiry tracker spreadsheet. This is a really important part because it allows the sales team to jump back in and give us feedback as to how each of the leads are going. They can mark whether they were able to contact the lead, whether they booked an appointment, whether they had the appointment viewed, they took a deposit or sold the property. Remember that the more data we have, the better. And since we captured those unique click IDs from the ad networks and we've stored them against each of the inquiries in this spreadsheet, we can then upload these events as offline conversions, which is basically our way of saying to the ad networks, hey, those people that clicked on those ads, they were really high quality. Send us more of those people. All right, so that's a 10,000 foot overview of our entire process. I hope you found it valuable. If you did, please smash that subscribe button because we've got some awesome videos coming up. And if you're curious about whether this will work for your project, I invite you to book a free call in my calendar. Link will be in the description. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.